Hi, my name is Tara Antler and welcome to Intuition 101. Before we dive into the intuition basics and before I give you some tools as to how to increase your intuition with ease, I would love for you to download the intuition quiz that has been included in this email and go through the quiz. There's 10 questions. What that quiz is going to do is help you get really clear on which area of your own intuition is the strongest and which ones we want to start building upon. So before you go any further, pause this video, download the quiz, take about 5-10 minutes, calculate which of the three is strongest for you, and then dive back into this video. Okay, welcome back. Pretty amazing, right? What we get to uncover about ourselves. I think that any of these journeys, whether it's intuition or learning more about energy healing or anything like that, it's really a journey of self-discovery and self-awareness. And I think it's really important for us to pause and take that time to really get to know us, really get to know our strengths, and really get to know where we want to build and where we want to grow from here. And that's what that quiz was designed to do, is to help you get really clear on which of the three clairs you are most strongest in. And I want to go into detail about the three clairs because people ask me all the time, does intuition exist within everybody, or is it exclusive to only certain people? Are we just born with these gifts and some people aren't? Or are they skills and gifts that we can actually activate and develop within us? And I'm here to say that I fully, 100% believe that every single person on this planet was born with the ability to be intuitive. And the basic way to know that for certain is think about conversations that you have with people. When people say, oh, I just knew it in my gut, or I had that gut reaction, or I just knew to turn left, or I knew not to take that route, or I knew to just stay home today. That's your intuition. That's the inherent part of you that is deep within your cells, deep within your body, that's there. And for some people, yes, it's a little bit more active. Some of us have been born with it very open and very awake. Some people had it develop at an early age or in their childhood, and other people started to wake up that part of their intuition later on in life. But either way, you have it inside of you. Your intuition is inside every cell of your body. It's not just in your gut. It's not just in your heart. It's not just in your third eye. Your intuition is within every cell of every organ in your entire body. And it exists within your chakras. It exists within your energy field. So you 100% have intuition. It's really a matter of fine-tuning your intuitive abilities and letting them blossom like a flower. You know, most people in the world, their intuition might be closed with little spurts that open like this, right? Just little spurts here and there. We want to allow the intuition to open up fully so that that flower within you really gets to remain open and beautiful and flowing in your life, because when your intuition is open, man, it is an entirely new experience in the world. Things seem to flow with much more ease. You have way less question about your life. And if you do have question about something, this direction or that direction, make this choice or that choice, it's easier for you to go inside, seek those answers within instead of always seeking outside of ourselves, right? And it's okay to do that in the beginning because we want that affirmation. We doubt ourselves. And the first thing that I want to start with is the biggest thing that holds us back from our intuition. The biggest thing is doubt. We don't trust ourselves and we doubt our gifts. All of us are getting intuitive messages all the time. And it's really up to us to choose to slow down and either hear them, see them, or feel them clearly. And that's what clairvoyance, clairsentience, and clairaudience is really about. It's clair, the ability to be clear within these extra senses that we have and utilize them. But most of us are getting messages, or we're getting signals, or we're getting feelings, or we're getting images, or we're getting thoughts about which direction to go in when we have these questions, and then we're not listening, or we're not paying attention, or we're dismissing it like, oh, I don't know, I don't trust. And what I really want you to do is begin to trust. So a simple statement is, I trust, I trust, I trust, I trust. And you can expand it if you want to say, I trust my intuition. However, whatever you choose to do, it's super important to have that phrase built into your system, because all of it really is about intention. When people ask me how long I've been intuitive or how long my intuition has been open, it's really been there since I was a child. And I think that for me, it was one of those gifts that was turned on already because of the work that I was going to do here in the world. Being an intuitive healer, being somebody who worked with a lot of people, where I sit with people and tune in to what's going on in their world and be able to see beyond what they're seeing and be able to draw down their higher self, their most expanded version, and bring that forward so that they can begin to live it. And I really believe that my intuition gifts were really turned on from the very beginning to help me do that and to be able to share all of this information with you so that you can turn on your own intuition. And it starts with that belief. It starts with that thought. So make the choice. Pause for a moment right now. I trust. I trust in my own intuition. I trust in my intuitive abilities. I trust, I trust, I trust. And if you can keep that thought frame flowing through your mind consistently over the next couple weeks, you'll find your intuition really will begin to increase and you'll start to trust what you get. So whichever of those three are dominant for you, whether it was the clairvoyant, the clairaudient, the clairsentient, you will begin to trust when you get those gut reactions, when you get those thoughts that come out of nowhere, when you begin to see images or you just know that that's the right direction to go in, you will actually begin to trust it. The other way to begin to build your trust, so the second way, is to write down whatever you get. So when you're practicing your intuition, when you're letting yourself just flow throughout life and you ask the question, should I go left or right? Is it in the highest and best good for me to make this decision or that decision? And you get an answer, it's really important for you to write it down. Because when you write it down, you're acknowledging and sending a powerful message to yourself and to your higher self and to your intuition. I got it. I got the message. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I got the message. And you write it down. Even if you start getting things popping up in your dreams, it's really important to begin a vocabulary, your own dictionary of terms. Now, there's a lot of dream journals out there. There's a lot of books out there that will tell you, an apple means this or a ladder means that. I always say to clients and students, what does an apple mean to you? What does that symbol mean to you? Because what an apple means to you and what it means to me could be entirely different. And it's your intuition that's speaking through you. So I'd rather you know what an apple means so that you have a clear indication as to what your intuition is communicating to you, not to me, and not to what the books all have to say, right? So start a vocabulary, start your own little dictionary or glossary of terms of things that came in, images that popped into your intuition, things that popped in during your dream time, and begin to write those down and then ask yourself, what does that mean to me? What does that mean to me? What does that mean to me? Then you're starting to build your inner vocabulary. You're beginning to build trust in what you're seeing and what you're receiving. And then you're strengthening that gift. You're strengthening that muscle, because that's really what the intuition is. The intuition lies within the third eye, which is right about here. And your third eye sits, inward and it expands outward. And it's connected to your pineal gland. And your pineal gland is like any other endocrine gland in your system and in your body. And it functions and it pulsates and it creates the most amazing hormones, melatonin being one of them that lets us sleep at night. So what you're basically doing is you're starting to tap into your third eye. You're tapping into your intuition and you're opening up your pineal gland, which apparently is very similar to the texture of your own eyeball. You just don't have a regular iris like our eyes do, but it's the same texture and it sits right in the center and it's perceiving everything. That's the part that we're awakening right now through this process. Now, I want to go into a little bit more detail about the three clairs so that you have an understanding as to which of these three am I most active in, which of these three are most present already, and which ones do I want to maybe build upon. So your first clair is clairvoyant. That is the ability to clearly see, the ability to see openly. There's internal clairvoyance and external clairvoyance. Internal clairvoyance is like, when you're in meditation and you can easily visualize or you get images that start coming to you, especially if someone gives you space within an intuition to just be still for a moment. And then all of a sudden you get these images starting to pour in. That's your internal clairvoyance. That's your intuition using your inner sight to bring awareness to you. And right now for me, I'm 5 months pregnant as I record this video. And so my inner clairvoyance is so active right now. I'm getting full images of the baby. I'm getting images of what the baby is, who she is on a soul level. She talks to me all the time, and that's happening through my internal clairvoyance. I've also physically seen her, which is external clairvoyance. So that's the ability to see outside of yourself. Some people see auras, which is the energy around your body. Some people have the ability to see spirits and angels and people who have passed on. That's being able to see, and oftentimes they look somewhat like you or I, but a little bit more miragey, not so dense, right? Because we're physically here on Earth and they're in energy space. So it looks like a little bit of a mirage, but that's your external clairvoyance, the ability to see clearly beyond what most can see. You're seeing beyond the veil, basically. The second one is clairsentience, and clairsentience is the one that most people have access to. That's that gut reaction. I feel something. I got a gut feeling this way or that way. I just knew that so-and-so was going to call, or I reached for the phone before the phone even rang because I just knew. And you get that feeling, you get that impulse on a very physical, visceral level. Clear feeling, the ability to sense with your five senses, with your gut, with your heart, with your being. And you know if there's a yes response, because a yes usually feels really good. It feels really expansive. A no response usually feels tight within the body. It closes down. So that's clairsentience, clear feeling. The third one is clairaudience. And again, clairaudience has internal and external. Internal clairaudience is when you get these snap responses or snap thoughts that just seem to pop into your mind out of nowhere, right? You think about something, you're like, should I go left or should I go right? And all of a sudden you're like, left. You just hear it. You hear that thought so powerfully in your mind that you're like, yeah, okay, go left. Or you think about something and you're like, I wonder who that is that's calling. And all of a sudden you get this person's thought in your mind. It's like a drop down. These thoughts seem to come out of nowhere and they just pop into your world. That's internal clairaudience. You're hearing the internal dialogue between you, your higher self, and your intuition is acting as the medium to communicate that message to you. Then there's external clairaudience, which I have to admit is a little bit freaky. If you ever have external clairaudience, you sometimes will actually hear as if someone's talking outside of you, and you look around and you're like, no one's there. I clearly know that I'm the only person in the room right now. There is no one here, yet you heard someone call your name. I've had this happen with guides. I remember it was my 33rd birthday, and I'm laying there, and it was maybe 4 or 5 in the morning, and the sun was just getting ready to rise, and I could hear all of a sudden someone talking, and I hear these two guides, and I'm like, oh, she's waking up. Okay, cool, this is what we have to do for her birthday. And they're talking to me about activating and all this other amazing stuff. But it is freaky because I was laying there and I'm like, am I really hearing this? Am I going freaking crazy? But it's your external clairaudience. You seem to have the ability to fine tune what you're hearing, and you're hearing beyond this physical world. You're hearing beyond the veil. So it's freaky, but it's really cool when it happens. So those are the 3 clairs. And from that quiz, you probably had one that was stronger than out of all the 3. That's the one that's been most developed or most turned on for you already. You can develop the other 2 as well so that they're equally balanced. That's where I would say I am now. I'm equally balanced. I get a mishmash of everything. I hear things, I feel things, I see things externally, internally. It's a whole mishmash, but it's really cool because it allows me to have a very clear idea or knowing or clear intuition about what's really going on behind the scenes. And that's what I would love for you. So some ways that you can begin to increase your intuition, the number one thing that I would say is meditation. And I have included a meditation here in your email that you can download and listen to that really begins to open up your intuition, and it preps that third eye right here, your pineal gland. It begins to stimulate it and awaken it. And that's what we want it to do. We want to see that flower bud not closed anymore, but beginning to open up. And that's really what this meditation is for. It's to stimulate the pineal gland. There are other ways that you can do that as well, through music, meditation I've already mentioned, yoga. Some people use crystals, essential oils. Some people use other vibrational healing modalities like Reiki or hands-on energy healing. These are all the different ways that you can really increase your intuition. But the ones that I want you to start with, because this is Intuition 101 and I don't want to blow you right open, I want you to begin to let that flower open naturally and not to the point where it's going to freak you out. Because that's the other thing that can happen. Some people are like, yeah, I want my intuition to be open. And then all of a sudden it opens and they're like, oh, close it down, it's too much. And I want you to have some fun with it and not be freaked out. So the very first thing I would recommend is trust. We talked about that already. So trust. I trust in my intuitive abilities. The second thing is just throughout the day, pose questions. Go left or go right? Is it in my highest good to choose this or to choose that? Listen to whatever the question is that you're putting out, and then listen for the answer. Not only listening here, but listen here, listen to what you feel, listen to what you see, listen to what you hear. Let all your senses be turned on to really fine-tune your inner listening, right? And then write it down. At the end of the day, what did you get? Did you see something? Did you feel something? Did you hear something? And then the other thing is to pay attention to your dreams and write down whatever that vocabulary is for you and begin building that repertoire for yourself. And then I would say meditation, 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 right? To really engage and awaken that third eye. Oh, and the last thing would be to move in the direction of what your intuition is giving you. So if your intuition says to go left and you don't go left, that's you going against your intuition. We want to get you to move in the direction of your intuition. So if you get an answer to go this way, go that way. Or if you get an answer to eat this over this, listen and go in the direction of what your intuition is telling you. Because again, that's reaffirming to your intuition that you got the message. And if you want more information, I have a fuller program that is a 6-week program that takes you through these 6 areas of how I increase my intuition, how I constantly build my intuition, and how I've taught other people to do the same. And we go through step by step where I give you a lot of tools, a lot of activities, and a lot of meditations to help you open up, continuously opening up, continuously trusting your own intuition, so that by the end of those 6 weeks, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, and your clairsentience are fully open, fully engaged, and you're having a lot of fun with it as well. So there's a ton of information that I'll send to you about that. If you have any questions or if you want to get started on that right away, please send me an email. My email address is Tara, T-A-R-A, at tarahealingsanctuary.com. And you can always check out the website, which is www.tarahealingsanctuary.com. And there's a ton of information on there. I'd love for you to take this journey with me. It's a lot of fun. Exploring your intuition really expands your life in ways that you can't even begin to imagine. And I hope you have some fun with this video and with your practices. And I'd love to hear from you in terms of how that journey is going. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. And if you have any amazing things that have happened with your intuition that totally blew your socks off, send me an email as well, because I really love hearing from everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Have the most amazing day. Many blessings to you, and enjoy your own intuition expansion.